Doug and Pay back with another video. So this economist Melissa Kearney wrote a book called The Two-Parent Privilege: How Americans Stopped Getting Married and Started Falling Behind. And she just writes a book about the obvious, what we've been saying for years. American women are choosing to have children out of wedlock and the whole country's falling behind. Now, of course, people on the left, there's just knee-jerk reactions saying that she shouldn't be, talking trash about single mothers, and one type of family isn't better than the other. I beg to differ. My parents were married, and all three of us children have master's degrees. We're doing well. You can look at the stats. Children of single mother households are at every statistical disadvantage. So she's just saying the obvious, but of course, people that vote a certain way and go a certain way have something to say about it. So we're going to get into this NPR article. Before we do that, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. It shows you support me and what I'm doing over here. And put in the comments what you think about her theories here. We're going to go through this article and see if she's just restating what us people in this part of YouTube have been saying for years. It says, the economist Melissa Kearney has been both vilified and praised for her new book, The Two-Parent Privilege. In the book released last month, Kearney points out a rather obvious fact. Children raised by two parents have a much higher chance of success than those raised by one. Yet she goes even further to argue that whether parents are married or not impacts their children's success. Okay, this woman, right? This article, Pallavi Gogi, says a rather obvious fact. Well, then why is she getting such pushback if it's rather obvious? An argument against two parents being raised better in a married family and a two-parent household is purely emotional. There's no logic behind it. And most of the time, it's single mothers who are trying to cope for their stupid decisions, or you even see women who were married and had kids trying to defend single motherhood because of the sisterhood is so strong in the United States. It's crazy. Her argument goes against the trend in the U.S. American children are increasingly being born and raised by single mothers, and it's awful. The U.S. has the world's highest rate of children living in single-parent households, according to a 2019 Pew Research study. Almost a quarter, or 23% of U.S. children under the age of 18 live with one parent and no other adults. Kearney finds that this arrangement hurts children, widens inequality, and ultimately damages society. She's ringing the alarm bells, and she wants people to hear them and start thinking of solutions. Judging by the book's reception, she has managed to achieve at least the first part of that. I've done exactly what I wanted, which was to start a conversation, Kearney tells NPR, but I get frustrated that a lot of the initial reaction is an initial knee-jerk reaction. People don't even read her book. They just see, you're saying that that my kid that I had with some Chad or Tyrone is going to turn out to be a drug addict. You can't say that. My kid that I had with the freaking massage therapist in Jamaica, that I had with the bartender on a girls' trip in Vegas, is going to turn out to be a criminal. You can't say that. How dare you try to hold me accountable? That's the only type of knee-jerk reaction to her book. I haven't read it yet, but I already know what it says. I've studied up on this. Many people in my space have studied up on this for years. And it's funny because women really can't stand each other, guys. If you go against any of the common leftist, feminist narratives, women will turn on you in a heartbeat, man. Women really can't stand each other. And this is what Miss Kearney's finding out. Kearney's argument that the children who grow up in unmarried households are fighting the odds has progressives miffed and accusing Kearney of stigmatizing single mothers, as they should. Guys, no single mothers ever. Stay away from them at all costs. Don't date them. Don't sleep with them. Don't marry them. Don't even swipe right on their profiles. Conservatives are celebrating her findings as validating the support of marriage. There are a lot of folks who are uncomfortable with the idea of prioritizing one family type over the other. No, it's women who are uncomfortable with prioritizing one family type over the other. Guys, we'll do it all day. Oh, well, some simps, yeah, the simps are out there. The pander bears, the panderers, the Steve Harveys are out there that feel uncomfortable with it, but they feel uncomfortable with it because they want to keep the money coming in by lying to women. Says Kearney, whose research and works as an economist at the University of Maryland focuses on issues that would consider progressive: poverty, inequality, family, and children. I'm not prioritizing one. I'm just recognizing the data and the evidence and the reality. So what Kearney is saying is F your feelings. This is what the hard data says. You can feel any type of way you want about it, but it's the harsh reality. It's a bitter pill to swallow. F your feelings. The reality is about unmarried mothers. One fact is undeniable in all this: more women are deciding to have children and also remain single, and those women are dumb, in my opinion. The worst thing, especially these single mothers by choice, the ones who choose to get inseminated or choose to just go up by themselves, and their child will never have a father. And then second to that are these women who their clock is running out, so they find some guy who's freaking irresponsible with his seed, already has 3-4 baby mamas, and then you're number 5. And then you go the kid's whole life saying, well, your daddy was a piece of garbage. Well, then what did you get pregnant by a piece of garbage for? How about that? Almost half of all babies born in the U.S. were born to unmarried women in 2019, a dramatic increase since 1960, when only 5% of births were to unmarried mothers. And it's not because of divorce. Today's unpartnered mothers are also more likely to have never been married. Guys, the fastest growing group of single mothers are the ages of 33 to 37. Some children who are raised by single mothers go on to achieve great things, but on the aggregate, the data shows that the odds of graduating from high school, getting a college degree, and having high earnings in adulthood are substantially lower for children who grow up in single mother homes. Also, remember, most of the 70% of people in prison come from single mother households. 70 to 80% of drug addicts come from single mother households. Most teen mothers come from single mother households. The stats are there, guys. Look them up. Kearney notes that families headed by a single mother are 5 times more likely to live in poverty than families headed by a married couple. It's simple math. She says having 2 adults in the home can bring in income. Having 2 adults in the home who can bring in income lessens the chance that a family is poor. As any parent will readily attest, raising children takes a lot of resources, money, time, emotional energy, and more. Guys, it'll cost you about $283,000, almost $300,000, to raise a child from 0 to 18 in the United States. That's how much it costs. It says most single mothers start from behind. They're less likely to have a college education or high income. So single motherhood is a lot less prevalent in higher educated women. This college gap exists for white, black, and Latino families. Data also shows that many single mothers don't have help from any other adult, and that is true. Women say, oh, I can do it all by myself. And then they literally have to do it by themselves, and they can't take the pressure. Raising children is hard. That's why a lot of second and third world countries, they have multiple generations of family living in the same home. It literally takes a village. But in the West, we just have this individualistic culture. I used to live in the DC area, and I would see couples who moved to DC for a job with their kids and have no support, no friends, no family, no nothing. That's hard. It says, that also shows that many single mothers don't have help from any other adult, like a grandparent or other family member. That means it's mom who both supports the family financially and serves as a primary caregiver. There's nobody to pick up the slack when she's tired or sick or just needs to talk after the kids go to bed. And you're starting to see on social media, women just saying, look, I'm not good at this whole mom thing, or this whole mom thing is hard, or I'm tired of it. There's a TikTok where this girl just dropped off her kids at her mom's house and is like, I can't do this anymore. I can't. And her mom is like, where are you going? She's like, I gotta go. I just can't. She's like, you're gonna leave your 2 kids here? I took care of my kids, and you want me to take care of yours? And it's funny because women, there's so much cope and rhetoric about single mothers and how strong they are before the women have the children. So women go into this not even knowing what they're signing up for. Raising a child is hard, ladies. It's hard, and you want to do it by yourself? Good luck with that. Kearney focuses her research on single mothers because of their outsized number. It's not like there aren't single dads, but they're a quarter of single moms. Yes, so like 80%, 85% of single parent households are women. Kearney is worried about boys falling behind and no role models around them. We've got millions of boys now growing up without dads in their homes, she says. Data shows that boys from disadvantaged homes are more likely to get in trouble at school and with the criminal justice system. That is 100% true. I'm black. Look at the black community. Okay. 56% of black men are single and childless. About 27% of us are married. So about 17 to 16% of black dudes are getting 75 to 80% of the women pregnant. Although this has a compounding effect of undermining social mobility and perpetuating inequality across generations, she argues. But what's marriage got to do with it? Kearney's endorsement of the institution of marriage seems antiquated and out of touch. Oh, really? Marriage rates have declined with more people deciding to remain single for longer, more women deciding to remain single for longer. Kearney says it's easy to assume that Americans are adopting a European lifestyle of raising children in partnerships or living together free of labels. Yeah, and let's see how that's working for them. I'm going to have to research that. You get a knee-jerk reaction from a lot of people like, oh, well, it doesn't matter if they're married as long as they stay together. That's not true. The problem is unmarried parents very rarely stay together. In the U.S., she says unmarried adults who decide to live together do it for a much shorter duration than those in Europe. Children in many of these households are more likely to experience 2 or more parental partnerships by the age of 15. Okay, she says she views her job as a social scientist who bases her work on facts and evidence, is unwilling to examine the complexities of marriage. She wants to veer clear from the politics and emotions surrounding the topics of marriage. Yep, let's just look at the data. F your feelings. I don't know exactly what it is about marriage, but it is a very practical matter. If you just look in the data, marriage is what delivers kids a stable, long-term 2-parent household in this country. But marriage is a loaded word. That means different things to different people. It can be a religious union for some, a celebration of a romantic union, a legally binding contract for others, and even an oppressive patriarchal institution. And this last one is the problem. There has been nonstop rhetoric in the last 40 years, 50 years coming from women about how awful and patriarchal marriage was for women back in the day. I will go so far as to say it was even revisionist history, because you can't make me believe that the majority of men in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s were just freaking whooping their wives, dude. I'm not going to believe that. There's no evidence. But this whole effeminist narrative just paints any patriarchal institution as bad. And what's why about it is I did a video on my channel where, I don't know if you guys know this, 50% of women surveys said that they'd rather work for a male boss than a female boss. So apparently patriarchy in the workplace isn't that bad, although they'll call it bad. Kearney says she's not advocating that children live in a household filled with marital tension or where parents are unhappy or mistreat each other. As an economist, she sees marriage as a long-term contract between 2 individuals to pool their resources and share household responsibilities, including raising children. 2 is greater than 1. the genders of the parent are irrelevant. So like, I wouldn't agree with this last statement, but for the sake of this exercise, yes, two people that are married with two incomes have a better chance of raising a child than a woman by herself. So where are the dads? One of the biggest issues is that women seem to be giving up on men, particularly those without college degrees. Agreed 100%. More women are getting degrees and they will not date a man without them. And it's funny because men still make more than women, even with less college degrees. And as long as men are doing the dirty jobs that women don't want to do, men will always make more money than women. You will not see a time in my lifetime. I'm 42 years old. You will not see a time before I leave this earth where women will make more than men. It's just not going to happen. As long as there's blue collar and trades where women don't want to do it. As long as guys are on the oil rigs going down into the sewers, women will not make more money. Sorry. Uh, Economics has been kind to this demographic since the 1980s. Those men have seen their earnings stagnate and employment rates fall. Can she even say this on NPR without getting flamed? Men have issues? Really? Oh my goodness. In the same period, more women entered the workforce and their average earnings increased regardless of the education level. This change has stripped many men of the traditional role as breadwinner for the family and in simple terms made them less desirable marriage partners because men are just a utility and a paycheck to a lot of women. Research shows that in parts of the country where men's earnings have fallen, so too have marriage rates. Okay, so these other sociologists, their book suggests that many women don't marry the father of the child not because they reject the concept of marriage, but because they do not see him as a reliable source of economic security or stability. But you're having a kid with the guy. Why? And you're going to put him on child support. So apparently, he is going to be a reliable source of economic security and stability when he's when the court is making him pay. They appear to have their higher bar for a potential spouse than their partners or the father of their children have met. Okay, they appear to have a higher bar for a potential spouse than their partners or the father of their children have met. Kearney says she wants to grab the attention of both conservatives who say that they care about children's well-being and progressives reluctant to talk about family structure because the link between single parenting inequality and mobility in America is too strong to deny. And Miss Kearney is right. 100%. Guys, if you're going to have kids, get married. The worst decision you can make of your life is getting some girl pregnant out of wedlock, guys, especially when you're young. Melissa Kearney is 100% right. We should be pushing for marriage, especially in the black community. Okay? Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one.